Okay, I think we're here. Now listen, this is a thank you Sunday. And on the thank you Sunday, we give thanks to all the things, people and places and things that have made our life bearable yesterday, the week before, the month after, things of that sort. And this goes for every country from A to Z. That means from Algeria to Zimbabwe. This applies. Thank you Sunday applies to everybody. Um, we here at Amazing Grace Sports Network give you what no other sports network gives you. And that is a time to be reflective on a Sunday. You can leave your comments, subscribe, like, leave your comments, and let us know what you think. Also, be sure to say that what you are grateful for and what you are thankful for. We appreciate that. I'm going to begin today by saying, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mira. Yes, that's my daughter. My daughter Mira is, no, she doesn't want me to say how old she is because she's still hanging on to her 20s. She's in her 20s, but she's over 25, and she doesn't want to think that one day she might get to 30 and what's beyond. Coming from her dad, who is now 63 years old, 25, well, I don't even remember. I don't even think I remember what it's like to be under 30. It's been so long ago. But I want to say thank you to her for being my daughter. I remember her taking me out to the park to play Frisbee with me. Yes, she insisted on taking me out to the park to play Frisbee because she wanted to keep me in shape. And keep me in shape she did, because she threw the Frisbee to my left, to my right. Oh, that's wrong. That's to my left, to my right, behind me, and in front of me and behind me. And I had to chase that flying disc all over the park. And then I was able to stay in shape, because it's hard not to stay in shape when you're chasing a flying disc all over a park. That being great. I'd like to also go back and thank her for being my daughter, because I'm sure she had a choice of family she could go to, but she looked down and she said, I want that guy to be my dad, because I want to teach him. Well, she taught me a whole lot of things, and that's great. So happy birthday to you, Amir. I'm going to use this Sunday to say shout out to the Boston Police Department and every other police department in the nation, because the police department does so much. The police officers, and when I say police officers, I mean the men and women. They do so much. They do so much, and they do not get enough credit at all. They work 12 to 16-hour days, and I hear a lot of complaining from people who say that X, Y, and Z about police officers, racism, whatever the case may be. Wrong. Never met a racist police officer on the job in my life. Not one who came out and said, oh, bada boom, bada bang. If anything, the majority of white officers that I met on the job would give the shirt off their back to the person who was in trouble. And the predominant race of the people that we attend to, if you are a police officer in a metropolitan city, are Black. 80% of all our service calls go to the Black community. So they would give the shirt off their back. They would give money out their pocket. They would go to the last nth length for whatever was needed. So you need to think about that. In saying that, I'd like to say shout out to, well, there's just a bunch of them. Andrell, Al, Addison, Ace, Anthony, Benny, who's no longer on the job, Bernie, who's no longer on the job, Billy, who quit, Bobby. I'm just going to say the first names because we're not going to put out the last names. France, Mike, Matt, a couple of Morgans. There's an Otis in there. Pat. There's a whole lot of Patricks out there. So you just figure out which one that I mean. And practically, I mean all of you. If you know me, then I'm talking about you. Pretty Tony, Steve, Sean, and there's a lot of Sean, Tony, and a lot of more Steves too. We're going to leave that alone. Heidi, Brenda, Brian, a couple of Brians, a bunch of Brians, Bridget, Bruce, Brian, Carl, Carol, a couple that passed away, Sharice, Charlene, who's still on the job. And I can go on and on. Daniel, Danny, Duran, and we call him Darren. David, a couple of Davids. Denise. Dennis, a couple of Dennises, a bunch of them. Docs, there was a couple of Docs, a bunch of Docs. Ed, Eddie, Edwards. Eric, of course, Eric's, and a good friend of mine who recently retired, Eric James. I'm going to say your name because you're a very special person that people ought to know. You lasted a long time on the job, as I did. And so a lot of shout outs to everybody. Frank, George, bunches and bunches of people. But what I want to say is this. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for being my friend. Thank you guys for helping the community. Thank you guys for putting your lives on the line. Thank you guys for putting your mental health and your physical health on the line for the communities in which you serve. My appreciation goes out to you, and I can't say enough. Thank you, and thank God for bringing you into my life. With that being said, it is a Sunday, and we thank God for a Sunday. And I want to say this to a lot of people that are, it's NFL Sunday, and we all know that a lot of people want their teams to win, and some of you might have bet on some of these teams. Now, there's a reason why gambling is frowned upon in the Bible, and that's because usually you don't win. So I think it's trying to protect you from situations in which you're going to lose, because gambling houses or casinos are in business to make money, and the fact that they're in business shows you that they are making money. So when they win, you lose. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, sports fans everywhere, have fun, enjoy the games, and do all those things, but be careful, because betting on the games is usually a recipe for disaster. After that, I say enjoy the games. Now, as I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, depression in life can be overwhelming, and we know this. You can suffer from anxiety, worries, and you have addictions, overeating, drinking, sex addiction, TV watching addiction. All these addictions will take over your life. I want you to watch out and be able to stop these addictions. We're going to bring the focus back on you. And we're going to do that by having you, and this is what this program is for on Sundays, having you appreciate the things that go right for you. I'll give you an example. Now, say that somebody crossed in front of the street or somebody cut you off yesterday. But for that one thing, 10 things happen right. For instance, you could hear, you could see, you could talk, your teeth work, and your internal organs work in your body. So you think of the one thing that went wrong instead of the 10 to 15 things that went right before that. Somebody smiled at you. Somebody did stop and let you go through. Now, what can you give back? Give back, people. Because remember, for every one thing that goes wrong, 10 things, at least 10 things have gone right. When you think about that, when you think about all the things that go right, you can no longer be in despair. You won't feel as overwhelmed. You won't feel the same anxiety, because you will feel and know that God is looking out for you. Everything happens for a reason. So these things happen for a reason, to let you know that things can go bad, but for the majority of times they go right. And those are the things you have to be thankful for. Be thankful that you were able to call somebody that you love yesterday. Be thankful that you were able to go see them. And if you weren't able to go see or call them, be thankful that you remembered them. That means your mind is still working. So going forward, everything that you want is in front of you. Everything that you want can be attained. But you have to remain positive. And you have to remember all the good things that are going right for you in your life. Let's just say the 1,000 good things that are going right for you in your life, instead of the 10 things that you are letting hold you back. And with that, I say thank you for showing up on Thank You Sunday. This is a second take because I just was not satisfied with the first take. It didn't get my point across. Also, I want to say I love you to all my children. Just because it's not your birthday, like it's Amira's birthday, doesn't mean I don't love you. And that goes out to Andrea, to Craig, to Tiffany, to Hakeem, Kasim, and Ronnie. Thank you very much for being my children. Thank you very much for teaching me so many things in life, and I'm grateful for that. Going forward, everybody, be grateful for your families. Love your families. Love the people in your life. It might take a little time. It might take a little patience. But what else have you got to do but to grow? Thank you. Thank you, Sunday. Amazing Grace, Clay Mars, signing off to all the people that are out there, especially those in Naples that are recovering, the Deans, the Madamos, and Doug and Michelle. I mean, Doug, Michelle, and Kim. Doug and Kim. Michelle, you know I know you. Madeline, Jerry, everybody down there. Peace. Good luck. Have a good Sunday. Goodbye. Ciao.